How is everybody? So good to see you. I have missed you so much. I don't think I've done a live in maybe a week or maybe it's been longer than that. But anyways, I am so happy to see you. And let me know if you're watching Team Live or if you're catching this as a replay. Love to connect with you, love to engage with you. And I was away this past weekend for my niece's birthday. My sister is such a wonderful mom. All moms are wonderful. I am not comparing, but as my sister, right, as family, we are biased. And my sister does such a good job of teaching her daughter how to have a really healthy body image and connect to her body. So she's Reese's 2, her daughter, and she's already like pretty much potty trained. It's amazing. But the phrase that she said to her was, "You are the boss of your body. What does your body need?" Right? And that's what she was saying to her when she was learning that feeling, that sensation of, I have to pee, I have to poop, I have to go to the bathroom, right? And learning what that feels like, tuning into your body and recognizing, this is what this feels like. And I have to tell mom that I have to go to the bathroom so I can verbalize that. But a lot of times we are so disattuned or out of attunement or disconnected from our bodies. And this is absolutely related to nutrition and dieting and overall body attunement and self-awareness. So I wanted to bring this into honoring your hunger and respecting your body's fullness, because you are the boss of your body. You know better than anybody what you need at any point in time. But because of dieting and other conditioning and things that we've learned, we don't always recognize what hunger feels like and what we need and what we're really feeling. And this is a really huge piece that I'm helping people to relearn how to connect with themselves, connect with their bodies, and identify what they need for themselves. Because I'm not in your body. I don't know what you need. I can guide you. I can be the mirror to reflect that and help you work through understanding what that feeling or sensation is. But it starts with just being more curious and slowing down and reconnecting with ourselves and identifying what these signals, these feelings, and these emotions are and how we can solve the problem. So I wanted to talk about honoring your body's hunger. And I want to do a series on this of really just paying attention to this, because I often have people ask me, what is the difference between hunger and like true biological hunger and emotional hunger, right? The difference between those two, which is such a good question. And we'll definitely dive more into that. But our body's hunger is a natural biological cue that lets us know our body needs sustenance, it needs substance, it needs calories, it needs nutrition, it needs energy, whatever way you want to look at it. And so nourishing our body is really as essential to life as breathing oxygen in and out. So keeping our body fed with adequate energy, adequate macronutrients is important to manage overeating. Because once we reach that moment of extreme hunger, all intentions of conscious, moderate, slow, mindful eating are out the window. Our need for energy is so essential that if we're not getting what we need, our bodies will naturally compensate with overwhelming cues. And these can feel very out of control. And a lot of people associate it with emotional eating, or they can't manage eating certain foods, or they feel out of control with certain foods. But there becomes a primal obsession with food and heightened cravings when we are not giving our body what it needs, whether it's calories or whether it's certain nutrients that we're missing specifically. We can have mood changes, irritability, difficulty concentrating, obsessively thinking about food. So during times of real or perceived lack of food, this can lead with actually a preoccupation of foods and of eating, where all you can think about is like maybe a very specific food or meal or just eating in general. And it's all you can think about. And this can be perceived or real, meaning that maybe we have full access to food and we're financially stable and we have the food, but because of dieting, and maybe we began dieting since you were a kid or a child, this can feel like a perceived lack of food, scarcity with dieting, right? I can't have these foods, or I'm not supposed to eat this, or I need to eat as little as possible throughout the day because of dieting, even though you have access to the food if you need it. So there is a difference between those two sensations and feelings. So it's important that we don't let our bodies get to this extreme point of hunger that feels intense and ferocious, almost is a good word. Because this is really just setting us up to overeat or just feel really uncomfortably full. And it's just not a good feeling, right? But that's often the feeling of dieting. It's either ravenous and starving all the time or feeling stuffed and overfull. And I'm really helping the people I work with find this middle ground of being able to eat when you are hungry but not ravenous, and stopping when you're satisfied but not stuffed or full. And it's really the best feeling when you're able to manage this in a way that feels really good for you. This can be described similar to holding your breath underwater. So you take a big inhale, you hold your breath underwater, and then until the need for air is so desperate, you find yourself coming to the surface. And rather than taking a slow, calm breath like you do day to day, breathing normally, it's not really anything that it's subconscious, it's not overwhelming. But if you're underwater, you come up for air, it's this like really deep primal breath. And it's a profound gasping inhale, right? This is the same thing that happens if we're waiting too long of a duration between meals. We're going into a meal ravenous and we eat very quickly and mindlessly, and we grab the first most delicious, calorically dense thing because our body is needing nutrition and energy in the fastest and quickest way possible. So that means it's not personal. It's not that you are an emotional eater or you can't control yourself. A lot of times we have just not given our body what it needs for an extended period of time, and is asking for that and asking for that energy or those nutrients in that moment. So this is something that we often have to relearn because we've been so disconnected and scared of being hungry. I see this so often with women that have been dieting their whole lives, is like that feeling of, being either super hungry or they have snacks with them all the time because they don't want to get to that point. So it's just finding that middle space. And this can be helpful to learn on. A lot of my clients do food journaling, and they will rate their hunger levels before and after a meal. And I'll talk about the hunger scale and what that means and going over that in a future video. But this is really helpful to give yourself a measurable amount when you start to relearn this of what that really looks like in terms of hunger and fullness. But it really starts with just getting curious, checking in with yourself. And it can be helpful to look at, when was the last time I ate? What time of day was it? What components were in that meal? Did it have enough of the nutrients that I needed? What was the staying power of that meal? Was it giving me enough nutrients to really sustain me? Did it have enough variety of macronutrients in it? So all those things are so important in keeping us satisfied until the next meal. So we'll get into this a lot more in future videos, but I thought that was just a good introduction in reconnecting with your body. You're the boss of your body. That is your mantra going into this month of April. And I want to do a series on this of really learning to reconnect with your body. So I wrote down some things that I wanted to go over this month. And this is from the Intuitive Eating Workbook. I love this workbook to really give you a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Metaphors, analogies, or visuals of how we can understand these principles. So I want to talk about general body cues and awareness, attunement disruptors, meaning what is disrupting this connection to our body environmentally, and solutions to navigate it better. Components of self-care, why it's so important to take care of ourselves, the different signs of hunger, qualities of hunger, rating your hunger, and identifying a plan to continue to nourish yourself and take care of yourself, even when maybe you're not experiencing physical signs of hunger, or you're sick, or you are really stressed, which can absolutely affect our hunger levels and being able to reconnect with our body, because we're in that fight or flight, that upregulated part of our nervous system. So let me know if that would be valuable for us to dive into throughout this month of really reattuning back with your body, checking in with your body, identifying what you're needing, and working and managing that throughout, getting feedback along the way. And this is really the journey that I'm walking through my clients with as well, which is super cool. So that is what I was thinking. Let me know if that would be valuable for you. And I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll catch you on the next video.